It's hard to describe what loneliness truly feels like. It's a silence so loud that even as storms rage within you, a veil of sadness cloaks everything around. Your eyes don't see the same way anymore because you've turned inward. At first, it's almost impossible to understand. You don't want to believe it. But eventually, the emptiness takes over everything. Where once there was warmth, now there's a cold that chills to the core. The love that once beat at the center of your heart has now left an empty space behind. The moments that broke you flash in your mind, but this time, the pain feels deeper, almost unnameable. It's not just words or actions. It's a feeling that's harder to shake. When night falls, the weight of solitude presses harder. Silence echoes like a scream in the dark. Thoughts come and go, but they never really leave. You ask yourself 1,000 times why. Why did you leave me? Why did it end like this? Memories replay in your mind, those shared moments of love, but there's no answer. The absence of the one you love hits with every passing second. Missing them has become a relentless ache. Time moves forward, but the pain stays. Everything seems empty, devoid of its former meaning. Those cherished days are nothing more than memories you clutch tightly, even as they fade. No one else truly understands. The emptiness inside is too vast to explain. People try to be there for you, but no one can carry this weight for you. On the hard days, when you most needed them, they weren't there. Gradually, something inside you breaks. There's a realization that you may never fully heal. Acceptance creeps in, but the ache lingers. You know you'll never be the same. You remember the way trusted people left, the way they abandoned you. So you build walls around yourself. Maybe they'll keep you safe, even if they leave you even more alone. Still, there's no other choice. The fear of being hurt again is too strong. Love offers hope, but also brings the kind of pain that cuts deeply. Sometimes your eyes fill with tears. Sometimes the storm inside you struggles to stay contained. But you doubt anyone could truly understand. Days blur together, yet the emptiness remains. You cling to yourself, offering your own comfort, because no one else can fill the void. You try to make peace with the loneliness, though each day wears you down just a bit more. A bitterness forms toward life, a distrust toward others. You wonder if you could ever love again, but the fear holds you back. Maybe one day this pain will ease, or maybe it never will. For now, you embrace it, accept it. There's nowhere to run from it. It's become your reality. Being alone is hard, yet it brings its own strange strength. You learn more about yourself than you ever expected. But you can't help but wish you hadn't had to learn this way. Perhaps the greatest lessons come from our hardest moments. Loneliness has a way of creeping in slowly, silently. At first, it's just a faint ache, a sense that something's missing, that someone is gone. But soon, it grows into a void so deep that it's all-consuming, swallowing the joy that used to feel so natural, so simple. The silence of an empty room, once comforting, now feels oppressive. Every corner holds a memory, every sound an echo of laughter that once filled the space. You never realized how much of yourself you'd given, how much of your own identity had become intertwined with another person. And now, without them, it feels as if a piece of you has been stripped away, leaving only a hollow shell. The nights are the hardest. In the quiet darkness, there's nothing to distract you from the ache, no busy world to drown out the whispers of memories. Every thought circles back to the absence, the person who was once your everything. Their absence is like a wound that won't heal, a scar that still aches despite the time passing. You lay there, wondering if they ever think about you, if they feel this same emptiness. But there's no answer. You're left only with questions that haunt you, replaying conversations, searching for clues, wishing for explanations that will never come. People around you try to help, offering their comfort, their advice, but they can't reach the depths of your sorrow. It feels like there's an invisible wall between you and the world. They tell you to move on, to find new joys, but it's not that simple. Moving on feels like erasing a part of yourself, letting go of pieces of your heart that still cling to memories. They don't understand how hard it is to let go, how every attempt feels like betrayal, as if moving forward would mean admitting it was all just temporary, just a passing phase. But to you, it was everything. Sometimes you find yourself angry, not just at them, but at yourself, for trusting, for giving so much, for believing that they would stay. You feel foolish, wondering how you could have missed the signs, how you could have ignored the doubts. The betrayal cuts deeper when you realize it wasn't just them who left. You feel like you abandoned yourself in the process, becoming someone who put another above all else. And now, in the solitude, you're left with nothing but remnants of who you were, trying to piece yourself back together. The weight of loneliness is unbearable at times. It presses down, making even the simplest tasks feel impossible. You find yourself retreating from others, unable to bear the sight of happy faces, of love that others seem to have without the pain. You envy them, but at the same time, you're afraid to let anyone else in, afraid that they too will leave you with more scars. The walls you build are high, strong, and you know that letting anyone close will only bring more risk. But the walls also keep you isolated, a prison of your own making. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months. The world moves on, yet you're stuck in a loop, reliving moments that once brought you joy, now tainted by loss. The realization that they're truly gone hits harder with time. It's as if the hope you once held on to begins to fade, and with it, the dream of what could have been. You tell yourself you'll heal, that time will ease the pain, but there's a fear that this emptiness may never fully go away, that you'll carry this scar with you forever. Occasionally, you find glimpses of strength in the quiet. Solitude becomes less of an enemy and more of a companion. There are moments when you begin to appreciate the resilience that has kept you going, the quiet power of surviving heartbreak. You start to understand yourself in new ways, to see sides of yourself that were hidden beneath the need to be loved, to be wanted. And yet, the loneliness remains. Even as you grow stronger, even as you begin to stand on your own, the ache of being abandoned lingers like a shadow that won't fade. In these silent moments, you come to terms with the reality that some people are meant to leave, that not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. You begin to realize that sometimes the ones who leave teach you the most, not about love, but about yourself. You see the parts of you that are raw, the wounds that still need healing. You recognize your own worth, not through their eyes, but through the strength it takes to endure, to keep going, even when it feels like there's nothing left. You long for connection, yet the fear of being hurt again is paralyzing. You wonder if anyone could ever understand, if there's someone who could see beyond the walls, beyond the scars. But even as you wish for companionship, there's a newfound acceptance of solitude. You're learning to stand on your own, to find comfort within. The road is long, and the loneliness never truly leaves, but you're finding ways to carry it, to make it part of who you are without letting it define you. As time passes, you find yourself letting go, not of the memories, but of the weight they hold over you. You learn that love, even when it's gone, leaves traces that can't be erased. It becomes a part of you, woven into your story. And perhaps in some strange way, that's enough. The pain softens, the edges dull, and you begin to see that being alone isn't a curse. It's a chance to rebuild, to grow, to become someone who no longer fears solitude, but embraces it. You're still healing, still finding your way. The loneliness is there, a quiet reminder of what once was, but it no longer consumes you. It becomes a part of the journey, a testament to the strength it takes to love, to lose, and to keep going. And as you look forward, the future no longer feels like a void, but a canvas, waiting for you to fill it with new memories, new love that starts from within. There are days when the solitude feels heavier, like a wave that crashes over you, reminding you that healing isn't a straight line. Memories drift in like whispers, bringing back pieces of moments that feel too vivid to ignore, yet too painful to hold. You remember the warmth of laughter shared, the comfort of simply knowing someone was there. And in these moments, the ache returns, like a wound reopening. You find yourself revisiting the what-ifs, the if-onlys, imagining a world where things had been different. But you also know that clinging to these visions only keeps you bound to the past, a place you can't stay. You remind yourself that, just as the pain comes in waves, so too does the strength to carry on. You find comfort in small things. A cup of tea in the quiet morning, a walk under a sky painted with colors at dusk. These moments are fleeting, but they remind you that there's still beauty in the world, even if it feels different now. In these moments you feel a gentle stirring within, a reminder that you're still alive, still capable of finding joy, even if it's quiet and subdued. You start to see that healing isn't about erasing the past, but learning to live alongside it, carrying it without letting it weigh you down. As time goes on, you begin to understand that some people come into your life to help you grow, to help you see parts of yourself you didn't know existed. It doesn't mean their leaving was easy, or that it hurts any less, but you start to see it as part of your journey. You find that, as much as you wanted them to stay, their departure taught you something invaluable. It taught you resilience, the ability to stand on your own 2 feet, and a deeper understanding of your own heart. You start to realize that while they were a part of your life, they weren't the entirety of it. There's so much more to you than just this one chapter. They'll never admit it, of course. They'll never come out and say it, but deep down, they know what's coming. They know that once the truth starts to spread, once people begin to wake up, there's no stopping it. They'll try, though. Oh, they'll try. They'll ramp up their lies, tighten their control, throw more distractions your way. But it won't matter. Not anymore. You've already broken free, and once you've tasted that kind of freedom, nothing can ever drag you back down. They'll come at you with everything they've got. Fear, doubt, guilt. They'll tell you that you're wrong, that you're crazy, that you're making the biggest mistake of your life. But you're not listening to them anymore. You've learned to trust yourself, and that terrifies them. They've built their power on your self-doubt, on your willingness to listen to their lies. But now you're done listening. And you've found your own voice, and it's louder than any of the noise they tried to drown you in. They'll try to isolate you, make you feel like you're the only one who sees the cracks in their system. They'll try to convince you that everyone else is happy, content, obedient. But you know better. You've seen the unease in their eyes, the fear in their voices when they talk about the future. They're just as trapped as you were, only they haven't figured out the truth yet. But they will. Oh, they will. And when they do, when enough people start to wake up, that's when the real fun begins. You see, the system isn't built to handle dissent. It thrives on conformity, on obedience. And power, open, shalt, and can, and bang. It needs you to stay asleep, to stay locked in the dream they've created for you. But once enough people start to question it, start to push back, the whole thing begins to unravel. It's already happening, whether they want to admit it or not. You're not the only one who's seen the truth. There are others, scattered across the world, waking up one by one. And together, together, you're unstoppable. They'll try to stop you from finding each other, from connecting, from building something new. They'll use every trick in the book, divide and conquer, misinformation, fear. But the thing is, they're already too late. The connections are being made. The truth is spreading, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. They'll fight, of course. They'll fight tooth and nail to hold on to their power, to keep the world in the dark. But they're fighting a losing battle. The cracks are getting bigger. The illusion is falling apart, and they know it. They'll try to make you believe that it's all falling apart because of you. They'll point to the chaos, to the unrest, and say, "See, this is what happens when you step out of line." But the truth is, the chaos was always there, simmering beneath the surface. All you've done is expose it. And once it's exposed, there's no going back. The world can't unsee what's been revealed. They can't put the genie back in the bottle, no matter how hard they try. And trust me, they'll try. They'll throw everything they have at you. Lies, fear, manipulation. They'll use your friends, your family, your loved ones to try and pull you back into their world. They'll say, "Why are you doing this? Why can't you just be like everyone else?" But you're not like everyone else, are you? You've seen the truth, and that makes you different. That makes you dangerous. And they'll try to use that against you. They'll say that you're selfish, that you're reckless, that you're putting others at risk. But that's just another lie, another way to control you. You know what's really at risk here. It's not safety, it's not stability, it's their control. That's what they're fighting to protect, not you. They don't care about your well-being, not really. They care about maintaining their power, about keeping their system intact. And every time you question them, every time you push back, you threaten that power. That's why they're so desperate to shut you down, to make you doubt yourself. Because they know that once enough people start to question the system, it's game over for them. But you're not doubting yourself anymore. You've learned to trust your instincts, to listen to that voice inside you that says, something isn't right here. That voice, it's your greatest weapon. It's what led you to the truth in the first place, and it's what will keep you going, no matter how hard they try to stop you. They can throw all the lies, all the manipulation they want at you, but they can't silence that voice. And once you've learned to trust it, really trust it, you're unstoppable. They'll try to make you feel small, insignificant. They'll tell you that one person can't make a difference, that you're just a drop in the ocean. But that's another lie. You're not just one person. You're part of something much bigger, something they can't control. Every time you push back, every time you question the system, you send ripples out into the world. And those ripples, they grow. And you shall. Then what? They spread. And eventually, they become a wave that will wash away everything they've built on lies. Lies. They'll try to convince you that the wave is dangerous, that it will only bring destruction. But destruction, it's just the first step to creation. You can't build something new without tearing down what's old, without clearing away the rubble of the past. And that's what they fear the most. Not the destruction, but the creation. The idea that you could build something better. Something that doesn't rely on their lies, their control. That's what terrifies them. Because once you start building, there's no place for them in your world. They'll cling to their old world with everything they have. They'll fight tooth and nail to keep it standing, even as it crumbles around them. But you've already moved on. You've seen what's possible, what's out there beyond the walls they've built. And once you've seen it, there's no going back. You're done living in their world, playing by their rules. You're building something new, something they can't even begin to understand. And they're terrified of that. Because a world built on truth, that's a world they can't control. They'll try to convince you that you need their control, that without it, everything will fall apart. But you've seen the truth. Their control is what's been holding you back all along. Without it, you're free to become whoever you want to be, to create whatever you want to create. And that's what they fear the most. Not the chaos, not the destruction, but the possibility. The possibility that without their rules, without their control, you could build something they can't even imagine. Something better. How? Something real. They'll tell you that you're being selfish, that you're only thinking about yourself. But the truth is, you're thinking about everyone. You're thinking about a world where people are free, where they're not controlled by fear, by lies, by manipulation. You're thinking about a world where the truth is out in the open, where people aren't afraid to question, to push back, to challenge the system. And that's the world they fear. Because in that world, they have no power. They have no power. In that world, they're just like everyone else. They'll tell you that the world you want is impossible, that it's a dream, a fantasy. But that's just another lie. They want you to believe it's impossible, because if you believe that, you won't even try. But you're not falling for it. You've seen the cracks in their system, and you know that change is not only possible, it's inevitable. And when that change comes, they won't be able to stop it. They'll try, of course. They'll throw everything they have at you, at us. But it won't be enough. The truth is too powerful, too unstoppable. And the best part, you don't have to fight them head on. You don't have to play by their rules. All you have to do is keep questioning, keep pushing, keep spreading the truth. They'll try to shut you down, to silence you. But they can't silence the truth. They can't stop the wave that's coming. They're scared, and they should be, because their time is running out, and they know it. They've built their world on lies, and it's all about to come crashing down. You've already seen the cracks, felt the foundation shift beneath your feet, and now you're ready. Ready to step into the chaos, to embrace the uncertainty. Because in that chaos, in that uncertainty, there's freedom, there's power. And once you've tasted that power, there's no going back. You're done playing their game, done following their rules. You're making your own rules now, building your own world. A world where the truth matters, where people are free to be who they are, not who they're told to be. They'll call you reckless, call you dangerous. They'll say you're going to destroy everything they've built. And maybe they're right. Maybe you are. But sometimes, destruction is the only way forward. Sometimes, the old has to fall to make way for the new. And the world they've built, it's old. It's crumbling. And it's built on lies and fear. And it's time for something better. Something real. You're not afraid of that destruction. You've seen what comes after, and it's worth it. So let them call you dangerous. Let them try to shut you down, to stop you from spreading the truth. It won't work. You are not alone in this. There are others like you, others who have seen the cracks, who have felt the unease, and together, you're unstoppable. They can't control the truth. They can't control a mind that's free. And you can see him. You're free. And you've broken their chains, shattered their illusion. And now, you're ready to build something new. No, they'll try to stop you. They'll throw every obstacle in your way. But you're not stopping. You're just getting started. This world, it's not theirs anymore. It's yours. And you're going to shape it into something they could never have imagined. Something real. Something true. And when they look back, when they see what you've built, they'll realize that the thing they feared the most wasn't the destruction. It was the creation. They'll laugh at you when you begin. Oh, they'll laugh. They'll point fingers, mock your choices, tell you that you're going nowhere. But here's the funny thing. They're not laughing because they think you're wrong. They're laughing because they're scared. Scared that you might just prove them all wrong. They need you to fail because if you succeed, it means their entire worldview collapses. And they can't handle that. They need the world to stay as it is, with them on top, and you stuck at the bottom. But you're going to rise. You can feel it. Can't you? That simmering fire inside you, growing hotter with every insult, every doubt they throw your way. They think they're putting you down, but all they're doing is fueling the flames. You've always known you were different. You've always known you weren't meant to fit into their neat little boxes, to play by their rules. You're a storm waiting to be unleashed. And once you do, there will be no going back. They'll wish they had stayed quiet. They'll wish they hadn't tried to stop you. And we're patient ones. Sunt, But that's the thing about people like them. They always think they're right. They've built their lives around certainty, around knowing the rules, and playing the game the way it's always been played. They can't even fathom the idea that there might be another way, a better way. So when they see someone like you, someone who's not afraid to tear down the rules, to create something new, it terrifies them. And that terror, it shows up as mockery, as scorn, as doubt. But you see through it, don't you? You know what's really going on. They want you to believe that you're the crazy one, that you're the one who's lost your way. But the truth is, they're the ones who are lost. They're clinging to a system that's crumbling beneath their feet, pretending everything's fine while the cracks grow wider every day. They're living in denial, and you're living in reality. You see the cracks, you feel the ground shifting, and instead of being afraid, you're ready. You're ready to dive headfirst into the unknown, to embrace the chaos they're so terrified of. And you see, chaos isn't the enemy. It never was. Chaos is where new life begins. It's where growth happens. And they've spent their entire lives avoiding it, building walls to keep it out, but all they've done is trap themselves in a cage. And now, now, they're too afraid to leave. But you've always been drawn to the edge, to the unknown. You know that's where real power lies, not in the safety of their cages, but in the wild, unpredictable freedom of chaos. And once you step into that freedom, nothing can stop you. They'll try, though. Oh, they'll try. They'll throw everything they have at you. Fear, doubt, shame. They'll use your past against you. Use your insecurities, your mistakes. They'll tell you that you're not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough to make it. But you've heard it all before, haven't you? And every time, it's only made you stronger. Every time they've tried to break you, they've only built you up. You're not afraid of their words anymore. You're not afraid of anything they have to throw at you. Because here's the thing. They don't understand you. They think you're playing the same game they are. But you're not. You've already left the game behind. You're not trying to win by their rules anymore. You're making your own rules. You're creating something entirely new. Something they can't even comprehend. And that scares them more than anything. They're terrified of a world where their power means nothing, where their lies no longer hold sway. But that's the world you're building, one step at a time. And as you build it, you'll find others like you, others who have seen the cracks, who have felt the ground shifting beneath their feet. You're not alone in this. Not anymore. There's a whole army of us, scattered across the world, waiting for the moment to rise. And when we do, they won't know what hit them. They'll scramble. They'll panic. They'll try to tighten their grip. But it'll be too late. The wave will have already started, and nothing they do will be able to stop it. They'll try to divide us, of course. They'll use their favorite tools, fear, hate, suspicion, to pit us against each other. They'll whisper lies in our ears, tell us that we're different, that we can't trust each other. But we know better. And we've seen through their games, and we're not playing anymore. We're not fighting each other. We're not turning on each other. We're uniting. And that's their worst nightmare. A united force, a wave of people who refuse to be controlled, who refuse to be silenced. They've built their entire system on division, on making us believe that we're enemies, that we're in competition with each other. They've turned us against one another while they sit back and watch, laughing at how easy it is to control us. But we're done falling for it. We're done playing by their rules. We're tearing down the walls they've built between us, breaking the chains they've wrapped around our minds. And once we're free, once we're truly free, there's nothing they can do to stop us. You felt it, haven't you? That shift in the air, that sense that something's coming, something big. It's not just you. We all feel it. It's been building for years, for decades, and now it's almost here. The storm is coming, and they can't stop it. They'll try, of course. They'll try to batten down the hatches, to hold on to what little control they have left. But it won't work. The storm will wash over them, and when it's done, nothing will be the same. And that's exactly what we need. They'll tell you the storm is dangerous, that it'll destroy everything you've ever known. But here's the truth. They're right. It will destroy everything you've ever known. And that's a good thing. Because everything you've ever known, it's been built on lies, on control, on manipulation. It's been built to keep you small, to keep you afraid. But the storm, and she, and Subshawn, the storm will wipe it all away. And once it's gone, once the old world is washed clean, we'll be free to build something new, something real. They'll try to make you afraid of the destruction, afraid of what comes next. But you're not afraid anymore, are you? You've seen the cracks in their system, felt the unease growing in your gut, and you know that what's coming isn't destruction, it's rebirth. It's the end of their world, yes, but it's the beginning of ours. And that's what they're really afraid of. Not the end, but the beginning. Because once we start building, once we start creating a world that's based on truth, on freedom, on real power, they'll have no place in it. And that's why they'll fight so hard to stop it. That's why they'll pull out all the stops, use every trick, every lie, every tool of manipulation they have. Because they know, deep down, that their time is running out. They can feel the ground shifting beneath their feet, the walls closing in around them. And we're kept, hop and data remnant. They know that once we're free, they're done. Their power will crumble, their control will slip away, and they'll be left with nothing. And that terrifies them more than anything. But you're not terrified. You're ready. You've been ready for a long time. You've been waiting for this moment, for the chance to step into your power, to claim what's always been yours. And now it's here. And onward shot here. Onward, toward, and out. And it's here. The world is shifting. The cracks are growing wider. And soon, very soon, the whole thing will come crashing down. And when it does, you'll be standing at the center of it all, watching as their carefully constructed illusion falls apart, as their lies are exposed for the world to see. And they'll try to drag you down with them, of course. They'll try to convince you that you need them, that without their system, you'll be lost. But you're not falling for it. You've seen the truth. You've tasted freedom, and there's no going back. You're done living in their world, playing by their rules. You're done being afraid. You're stepping into the chaos, into the unknown, and you're not looking back, because you know that on the other side of that chaos, that's where your power lies. They've spent their entire lives trying to avoid the chaos, trying to build walls to keep it out. But you've always been drawn to it. You've always known that the chaos isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace. It's where real growth happens, where real power is found. And now that you've embraced it, now that you've stepped into the unknown, needed children, to her unsleaze, and in rejoice, and you, where you were to stay. You're unstoppable. There's nothing they can do to drag you back into their world. You've seen too much, felt too much, to ever go back. And that's what scares them the most. They're not afraid of the chaos. They're not even afraid of the destruction. They're afraid of you. They're afraid of what you'll become once you've fully embraced your power. Because once you've tasted that freedom, once you've stepped into your true self, there's no stopping you. You'll tear down everything they've built, expose every lie they've told, and build something new, something real, and they'll be powerless to stop you. So, Let them try. Let them throw their fear, their doubt, their lies at you. Let them try to drag you back into the darkness. It won't work. You've seen the light, felt the power of the chaos, and you're not turning back. You're moving forward, stepping into the unknown with your head held high, knowing that whatever comes next, you can handle it. You've always been able to handle it. You were born for this. You think you've seen it all, don't you? The lies, the manipulation, the fear tactics they've used to keep you small. But here's the thing. What you've seen, it's only the tip of the iceberg. They've been at this game for centuries, perfecting their techniques, learning how to control people like you. And they're good at it. They know exactly what buttons to push, what strings to pull, to make you doubt yourself, to make you believe that you need them. But you don't, do you? Deep down, you've always known that. You've always known that the power you need, it's already inside you. They'll never admit that, of course. They'll never let you in on the secret that's been right in front of you all along, that the power they use to control you, it's the same power you can use to break free. They've just twisted it, turned it against you, made you believe that it belongs to them, that you can't access it without their permission. But here's the truth. They have no real power. Everything they have, everything they've built, is based on your belief in their lies. Once you stop believing, once you stop playing their game, they have nothing. But getting to that point, that's the hard part. Because they've spent your entire life conditioning you, shaping your thoughts, molding your fears. They've made you afraid of your own strength, afraid of your own mind. They've taught you to doubt yourself, to second guess every decision, every instinct. They've made you believe that you're not enough, that you need them to survive. But you don't. You never have. Until you've always had everything you need to break free, to rise above their control. You've just been too afraid to use it. But that's about to change. Because here's the thing. They can't keep you in the dark forever. Sooner or later, the cracks in their system start to show. You've seen them, haven't you? Little glimpses of the truth. Moments when the veil slips and you catch a glimpse of what's really going on. It's unsettling at first, isn't it? Realizing that everything you've been told, everything you've believed, is a lie. But once you've seen it, once you've felt the truth in your bones, there's no going back. You can't unsee it, can't unlearn it. And that's what terrifies them the most. And one day, you'll look back on this time, on the loneliness and the pain, and you'll see it for what it truly was. A chapter, not the whole story. You'll see how it shaped you, how it led you to a place of self-acceptance, of inner peace. You'll realize that you are stronger, wiser, and more compassionate because of it. And in that moment, you'll understand that every tear, every heartache was worth it, because it brought you here, to this place of quiet strength and unbreakable resilience. Your story is still unfolding, and you are the one who holds the pen. You are no longer afraid of solitude, because you've learned that in the end, the only person who can truly complete you is yourself.